Welcome to the Angel Mystic Podcast. I am super excited you are listening because this is where spiritually open minds can come together to explore the wonders of angels, spiritual connections, and the art of manifesting. Hosted by me, Amanda Tooke, the Angel Mystic, your spiritual midwife to help you on your journey to a fulfilling and happy life. You may have seen me on ITV, Channel 4, or even in Fate and Fortune magazine. In each episode, we will delve into the mystical world of angels, offering you insights, guidance, practical tools to deepen your connection with the upstairs so that you can find inner peace, happiness, joy, and create the life that you want. Tune in for weekly, fun conversations, transformational insights that will elevate your spiritual journey and awaken your inner mystic. Please hit subscribe now as we embark on a transformational adventure with the Angel Mystic Podcast. I mentioned in the last podcast that there was some exciting spiritual training coming your way, and I have got more information on that for you right now. So it's called Spiritual Awakening. It's totally free training where we're going to be able to unleash your inner magic. So if you're wanting to maybe start your spiritual journey or embrace a little bit further along the path with your spiritual journey, because it is an ongoing journey, check it out. It's all in the show notes and there's a place waiting for you and it's totally free. We've also got Angel Summer School, which is starting on the 15th of July. And there is a couple of places left on that at the moment. But that is a 6-week intensive training with a Facebook group, all happening on Zoom. If you're wanting to deepen your connections with your angels, go and check it out at the show notes. Let's start the podcast. Welcome back to the Angel Mystic Podcast. This episode is all about stepping out of your spiritual closet, because I believe when you do, life starts to make more sense. So let's delve into that topic that I think can truly transform your life. I know stepping out of your spiritual closet can be really daunting, but honestly, when you start to join up the dots, it all makes sense and you're able to embrace the true you. So as I said just then, the stepping out your spiritual closet can be scary. I know it was for me, but the upstairs gave me no choice in that. I've been spiritual all my life. I've been, shall we say, dabbling in things, my own cards, my own pendulum from being a teenager, but kept well hidden. And only a few people knew what I was into, what I could do. I really kept my spiritual abilities, hidden from most people. But when I embraced it, when I stepped out my spiritual closet, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And if you're sort of on the brink, 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the closet, I think when you do step out, you will just feel so much happier. Your life becomes more vibrant. It makes more sense. You can see the bigger picture and it makes it so much easier too. So my intention for this podcast is to send you some little tips and stories to help you on your journey, because I know being the weird one is not always comfortable. And being the freaky one, being that strange one, when people don't get you, can really make you wobble. I think it was last summer when I met up with one of my old school friends who lives in America now, and we went for lunch and she says, "Oh, do you remember I used to put my hand behind me in the maths lesson and you used to read my palm?" And I didn't remember that, but she clearly did. So from even being in school, I was always interested in spiritual things. I could remember walking home from school one day with another friend, and I just said out the blue, "Oh, my grandma's died." And she said, "Oh, when?" I went, "Now." I just knew things. I just didn't know why I knew them or how I knew them. And sure enough, when I got home, that was the news I was met with, that my great-grandma had died. I remember as well as a child seeing spirits so much clearer than I ever do even now. Not that that matters, because I use all of my clairs, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant, to communicate, to experience spirit, to pass messages on, to receive messages from myself. But as a child, I used to see spirits so clear that I used to struggle to know whether it was a real person or a spirit person. And my dad had a restaurant, and in this restaurant, there was the main staircase, and then there was like a back staircase. It was very narrow, quite steep, and it was like a shortcut up into the big function room. And nobody liked going up those stairs. But when I used to go up those stairs, there was always a man that I used to see up there, but nobody else used to see him. But everyone used to say, no, don't be silly. There's nobody up there. There's nothing up there. And that, as a child, when you are seeing things and people are telling you there's nothing there, really makes you start to doubt. And that is why I shut down for many years, because I was experiencing so much. Like, I'd go to bed at night and close my eyes and I'd see all these faces coming straight at me. I'd see people coming at the wall, all of that sort of stuff. And nobody had any answers for me. Nobody, could say what it was. They just used to say it wasn't there. So you start to really, really doubt. And so many children, generally up to the age of 7, because, they've come from spirit, they remember where they've come from, they're acknowledging what's going on around them. And these little invisible friends they have are quite often spirit people. But for me, I did shut down because there was no real support with that. Whilst my nana, who did live with us, was, on the spiritual path, but again, a bit more secretive, she didn't really help with any of that. She taught me more about, some things she shouldn't have taught me, to be fair. But she taught me about palm reading, tea leaf reading, that life's eternal. But she didn't really teach me, about spirit in that sort of way. I've learnt all of that for myself. She also taught me about Ouija boards, which I don't recommend anyone doing, but they always seem to come out in family gatherings, when my nana was around. But most of the time I was told, there's no one there and don't be silly and go to sleep. And that just made me shut down until spirit decided that I was definitely going to have to open up. And I was running my bed and breakfast at the time and had a huge asthma attack that put me in hospital and took me 6 months to recover from, which left me no choice but to sit and meditate. And in that sitting and meditating every day, all this guidance started to drop in. And I was given really clear instructions to open my shop, which is what I did. And stepping out of my spiritual closet in such a public way was really, really daunting. So instead of just letting a few people know what I was about and what I could do, I literally opened a shop and went, ta-da! In the middle of Windermere. This is who I am. This is what I'm into, what I can do. But I have never regretted it. Not once opening that shop. And what I found is that when you do start to recognize your spiritual gifts and, start to join up the dots, and maybe you're having super vivid dreams or getting really strong gut instincts and you just know things are going to happen before they happen. These are like little clues, little nudges, and often we brush them off and we start putting it down to something else. But when I started paying attention to that, everything started to click. And when I did open my shop and went, this is who I am, this is what I do, everything in life, one, got a lot easier, but so many other people went, oh yeah, me too. I get that. This happens for me too. And it's really comforting, but also confirming, because you are, no longer the one weird person on your own. Other people are experiencing these things too. And it just makes it so much more easier to accept within yourself. So follow those little nudges, don't brush them off, and think about the moments when you've felt maybe intuitive or really connected, and the coincidences that you're getting. These are your spiritual gifts trying to get your attention, and we need to pay attention to that. But of course we hit upon fear and doubt, and we've all been there when you're worried about what other people are going to think, that you're nuts. I know I thought that if I told them I was psychic, they're going to think, oh yeah, crazy woman. But do you know what? If they don't get it, they don't get it. Most people are so much more open-minded, especially now. You know, when I was stepping out my spiritual closet over 15 years ago, people weren't as open. Spirituality wasn't spoke about in the same way. So find your tribe, find people that you can connect with. You know, my Facebook group, Abundance Manifesting, there's nearly 12,000 people in there at the time of recording. And, you know, there's a lot of spiritual people everywhere. Connecting with those sorts of people really helps you. And it means that you can talk about things and say things that you perhaps wouldn't talk to more closed people. And that makes you feel less scared. It makes you more curious and wonder what is really possible. And as you share your stories with other people around you, you're helping other people embrace their gifts. I know stepping out of my spiritual closet really has helped so many other people step out of their spiritual closet, because we need that confidence in our connections. It's not that we don't trust, you know, the upstairs, whether it's angels, spirit guides. It isn't that we don't trust them. It's generally that we don't trust ourselves in what we're receiving. And we sometimes don't have the confidence to say what we're receiving because maybe we've just not had enough proof yet. So when you find people that are the same as you, embrace it. People are so much more open now than ever before. And when you do connect with other spiritual people, it feels like you're coming home. It feels like you're finding your soul family. So you don't have to go through this alone. So support yourself with like-minded people, because it's going to make your journey so much easier. And then you'll be able to say, this happened. And other people will say, oh yeah, me too. Nobody will think you're crazy. And you may go through a period of you've got one leg in the closet and one leg out the closet for quite some time, until you've got no choice to be fully out. And when you do, oh my goodness, do you see the bigger picture? You can see what's really life is about, the problems, the fear-based things that are going on in this world. You can see the bigger picture because you are connected. And the other thing, you just don't feel lonely anymore because you feel so supported by the upstairs. Loneliness isn't something I can relate to at all. Because how can you be lonely when you've got angels, guides, and loved ones around you all the time? How can you be lonely when you've got all that love and that support? And the thing is, with angels, their love is unconditional. And it's quite hard to find unconditional love in this human reality because there's so many conditions often attached to it, but not with your angels. So you could probably start to want to have more alone time so you can connect more. And you'll start to learn about yourself on a deeper level and understand yourself more than you've ever understood yourself before. And you start to make spirituality part of everyday life. It becomes fun. It becomes something you've got to do. It's not serious. It's not solemn. It makes you feel good. Your morning meditation, you're pulling your cards, spending time in nature, positive affirmations, getting guidance whenever you need it or want it. It so fulfills you. It's like you found that bit of you that you've always felt was missing. And inner peace comes by the bucket load. Everything starts to fall into place. And when you do have problems, when you do hit little obstacles along the way, they become easier to deal with, because you can understand the bigger picture. And one of the things for me is going through grief. So when somebody has passed that's, you know, dear to you, that has been so much easier because of my spirituality. Because I've realized that they're going home, that we're all returning to the same place. They've just gone back to spirit, but they're still around us as well. And therefore you don't have that same process that you would do if you were only in the human aspect. But you've really got to trust the process. Your spiritual journey will be unique to you. There's no right or there's no wrong way to do it. And it is all built on trust. Trusting what you're receiving. Trusting that you're exactly where you need to be and everything is unfolding perfectly. Looking back on my journey, even the tough parts have made more sense in the grand scheme of things. So trust yourself, have fun with it, know that you're on an amazing path, and come and join us in Abundance Manifesting on Facebook. Take part in my trainings that I often put on. There's one coming up soon, because the more that you embrace your spiritual side, the more complete and whole and fulfilled you're going to feel, and the easier life is going to become. So as I started this podcast saying, stepping out of your spiritual closet starts to make life make more sense. I really hope that you're brave enough to do that. And if I can help you on that journey, it would be my pleasure. Till next time. Bye for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, please hit follow and share my message by sharing with your friends. It would be amazing if you can leave a review. All this will help, and it activates the universal law of the more you give, the more you receive. So it's a win-win. You can find more good stuff between episodes over on social media. Just search The Angel Mystic on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, or check out the links in the show notes. I'd love for you to connect more over in my free group in Abundance Manifesting, all on Facebook. I hope to see you there.